This month, January 2024, Pluto is going into the sign of Aquarius. There is going to be a last brief dip of Pluto into Capricorn later this year for a couple of months. And after this, starting December 2024, we are going to be full on immersed into the Pluto in Aquarius energies, which is going to last approximately the next 20 years. What does that mean for us both individually and collectively? Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are collective planets. What does that mean? That means that even if they conjunct your personal planets, they are planets of collective destiny. They are planets that view humanity as a hive mind where one is dependent on the other and neither can be separated. So this is going to be a transit that first of all works slowly, because these are planets outside of Saturn's karmic belt, so they have the blessings of Saturn, of longevity, endurance, collective, slow, persistent drive towards a valuable goal. In order to better understand how Pluto operates collectively and to know what we can anticipate with this transit, let's look briefly at what Pluto did in his last two transits in Capricorn and Sagittarius. Pluto in Sagittarius started in the 90s, around 1995, and then still to 2008. And this was undeniably the era of the rise of two things in popular culture. Again, Pluto is a collective planet. You participate in it, but it's never just about you, unlike your personal planets. This was the rise of popular music and the rise of popular sports. What does that mean? Of course, these two things existed before. Music was a thing and so was sports, but this was the time when these two things became commercialized on the highest level that we have seen. Well, I would say at least for the past century. We have seen a huge rise of pop stars starting in the 90s, or individual creative acts, the rise of quality in music videos, the rise of frequency in popular artists appearing. And same with athletes, because Sagittarius can also rule sports. The act of playing sports has become a national pastime to an extent where a sports person has become a celebrity, not just a performer, not just an athlete. Then, as Pluto went into Capricorn in December 2008 for good, we have started to see a rise of social media. This was the inception of when online messengers started to be treated seriously, and when you gain the possibility of being able to develop a serious career simply through using the internet exclusively. We think that this is such a normal thing right now. We have TikTok, we have YouTube. We take it for granted, but if you're old enough, and I am, think back 10 years ago. It was unheard of, unthought of that somebody could make their living only exclusively through TikTok and YouTube, yet right now it is the norm. This is the change that Pluto in Capricorn brought us. It was a complete evolution of the ways that we find socially acceptable to contribute to the public, and as a result also receive recognition, which partially is financial, partially of course it's social approval. And now with Pluto in Aquarius, that is going to go to the next level, where these online digitalized forms of making your mark in the world are going to go into an even higher level. We can expect a rise in artificial intelligence, even more social inclusion when it comes to the tactics of including your online presence as a relevant way of your self-expression. If there are any remnants of those who think that a social media career is not serious, this will crumble during this transit. And that is a preparation for the next transit that's going to happen again 20 years from now, when Pluto is going to go into Pisces, which is going to finally accelerate on an even higher level the inclusion of spiritual ideas into collective consciousness. As you can see, these changes happen very slowly. If it takes 20 years for something to go through a sign and affect the collective consciousness, it is a slow movement, but it's also relentless. And with Pluto, once you go through it, you cannot go back. Think about how the world works right now. We cannot go back to the time before social media. It's never going to be the same. Different platforms can evolve. We can have changes in what is trending right now, but it's never going to be the way it was before working online, working remotely, and social media was created. It is a revolution that is going to stay with us. And with Pluto in Aquarius, that is only going to deepen. So it is going to be a good time for you if you are somebody who has taken off with a creative idea that is supposed to reach the masses in new and unconventional ways during the Pluto in Capricorn transit, because now the transit is going to take you to the next level. And if you have any personal planets in Aquarius that go along with the idea, they're going to be activated in such a way that any work that you put into those planets during the Pluto transit is going to resurface and be rewarded in such a way that you can feel like these planets have now more joined the current of what's happening with society. Because if you didn't have those planets activated before, when Pluto was in Capricorn, your Aquarius planets were not activated by Pluto, you could have felt like you were maybe slightly ahead of your time with your game, and I could have felt lonely. Now Aquarius is a social sign. You're going to feel like you're included in something with your personal endeavors, especially during the time when your personal planets are going to conjunct Pluto. You can see some things resurfacing, even if it's past work, coming to light and reaching the public consciousness, reaching a wider audience. However, even if you did not start before, don't be worried. Maybe that just means that your time is now. But honestly, it is more about a gradual shift in how the world collectively perceives what is acceptable as a way to make your mark in the world. Before that, it was more as a serious practical endeavor, that it was serious to be able to commit your time to social media long term and still do something viable that can positively change people's lives. Right now, it's going to be more about a social inclusion, a real measurable social contribution, or even using the internet and social media to solve serious social issues.